guys, so welcome to my review for ABC's new show, Once Upon a Time. The pilot episode premiered this past Sunday, and of course I watched it. I've been very excited for this show. One, because it's from the writers of Lost, so I mean, come on, that's definitely earns it a lot of points there. And it's about fairy tales, and ever since I was a kid, I've always loved fairy tales. Not just the Disney fairy tales, but the original, much darker fairy tales that the Disney films are usually based off of. So, of course, I was very eager to see this show and see what they were going to do with it. The premise is pretty much, the fairy tale world meets modern day. Fairy tale characters are kind of thrust into the modern day world, pretty much. But before I get started, if you haven't seen it and don't want to know anything about it before going into it, don't watch the review. There probably will be, I guess, spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil anything they don't tell you in the episode, pretty much, because that's all I know, because there's only been one episode. So if you want to go in totally blind, then don't watch. But if you are interested in knowing more about it, then of course keep watching. So it stars, the two big names are Jennifer Morrison, who played Cam in House, and you've got Ginnifer Goodwin, who's been in quite a few movies. Those are the two big names, at least to me, the ones I recognize, but there are several other very good actors. The actress that plays the evil queen is very good, I think, and the actor that plays Rumpelstiltskin is very good. He did a really good job, very creepy. So they're kind of your main cast. What it is, what's pretty much it's about, it takes place, it starts off in the fairy tale world, and it centers on Snow White and Prince Charming. A little nitpick here, they didn't give Prince Charming an actual name, they just called him Prince Charming, and I thought that felt very generic. He didn't feel like a character. I mean, the actor was good, but I hope they give him an actual name, and not just, go with the generic cardboard cutout of, Prince Charming or whatever. So, but not a very big deal, because he was a very good actor, and I liked him. I liked, the character as well. So Prince Charming and Snow White, you kind of start off, Snow White's been poisoned and he comes to wake her up, and then you've got the dwarves, so they're all happy they get married. The evil queen comes in, says she's going to put a curse on them, she's going to ruin their lives and all that, and so they do everything, they want to stop her, and they end up having a daughter named Emma, and in order to save her, they stick her in this magic wardrobe, and that sends her to the present. So she escapes from the fairy tale world to the present, and she doesn't really have well, I should probably explain. The queen, she curses everybody, and the curse is, ruining their happily ever after by sending them to modern day times. So everyone who lived from the fairy tale universe has a counterpart in the modern day world, but they're not exactly the same. They're a little different, but the modern day versions have like the same, they have the same essence as their fairy tale counterparts, but they're not exactly the same. I really hope that makes sense. They're different characters, but they're meant to be very, very similar to the people from the fairy tale world. And so there's one for Snow White, Prince Charming, the Queen, Rumpelstiltskin has a counterpart, Geppetto. I hope I didn't confuse you, and I hope I kind of made that clear. So, but Emma herself, she is she's been raised in our world, and her son comes back. She had given up a son 10 years ago, and he comes back, of course, telling her she's the only hope to save the kingdom. And it turns out the mayor, who's actually, pretty much the modern day version of the evil queen, has adopted him. So that's, of course, gonna messed things up a bit. But overall, there was a lot of stuff in this pilot. A lot of stuff happened, especially for just the first episode. And the only thing, again, another little nitpick is it does get kind of jarring switching from fairy tale world to modern day world, and then back to fairy tale world, back to modern day world, because just when you're really getting into what's happening in whichever world you're in, it switches on you. So I really hope they kind of figure out a way to smooth that out a little bit, kind of make the transition a little more smooth. Maybe, I don't know, dedicate the first half just to the fairy tale world, the last half to the modern day world, or vice versa, or dedicate a whole episode to just one of the worlds. So, but other than that, no real complaints. I really, really love this show, and I'm really very excited to see what they're going to do with it and where they're going with it. And for all the Lost fans, there's a couple of really cool little nods to Lost as well. There's an iconic, the eye opening, which Lost is known for, the close-up of the eye. Then there's this clock that's been stuck on 8:15 for forever. And I think there's a couple more, but I'm not going to tell them all to you. And for those Lost fans out there, see if you can spot them if you decide to watch it. So there you go. There's my review. I'm really, really loving this show. I cannot, like I said, wait for the next episodes, and I'm hoping that they don't cancel it, because I would be very, very sad. So that's another new show to add to my list, guys. And so if you've seen it, I'd love to hear what you think, what you like, what you disliked, and everything in between. So as always, thank you so much for watching and commenting and subscribing, and I will see you with my next video.